Hey y'all, so today I'm just going to be talking about what basically it's like to live with roommates in a college dorm. And so this is pretty much just stuff that I've learned from my experience. A little bit will be from like my friends and what they've told me about their experience. So this is in no way definitely defining what type of experience you will have. There are a couple different options for college dorms. At my school, there's traditional style, which is basically two people, same sex, live in a small little one room, and it comes with like 2 beds, 2 desks, 2 closets, the basic stuff. And then you share a bathroom. There's a community bathroom on that floor that you'll share with all of the girls or guys that live on that floor. So there's that, and then there's the suite style, which is at my school it's 4 people live in one like room basically, but our dorm room is actually, it's kind of 2 separate rooms. There's like our bedroom area, and then there's kind of our living room area, which we have a TV, couch, well, a small couch, all of our desks, all of that stuff. And then we have a wall that has a counter with 2 sinks on it. So the 4 of us share those 2 sinks, and then on one side of that counter there's a door with a shower in it, and then the other side there's a door where it's just a toilet is in that tiny little room. And so that's just the 4 of us live there. So kind of the reason that I chose to live in a suite style versus a traditional style is, well, for one, I was not feeling the whole community bathroom thing. Like, that's just, it's not me. It's not what I wanted to do. But 2, I figured this was a better way for me to meet people. If I'm living with 3 other girls, it's more likely that I'm going to be friends with at least 1 or 2 of them, And so it was that, and then if I'm friends with not only my roommates, but then, if we're friends, we can kind of, I guess, share friends basically, and I can meet people that they know through classes and stuff. And so it's just, I figured it would help me kind of broaden who I'm friends with, who I'm around. So that's basically the reasoning behind why I chose a suite style. From my experience, there's questions about how you'll get along with roommates and how you'll solve conflicts. For me, like, I haven't really had any problems with any of my roommates. I feel like I get along with all of them pretty well. I'm pretty calm, and I try to avoid conflict at all costs. So even if something's kind of annoying, or if they do something that I don't really like, or if I'm trying to sleep, like, I'm not gonna confront them about it. And so that kind of makes it easier for me, I guess, that I don't have any, like, bickering or anything between my roommates. I just kind of let stuff go. Like, whenever I was moving in my dorm, I was totally nervous about, who are these people? Like, are they going to like me? Are we going to get along? Like, what's this going to be like to live with them? But I really haven't had a problem. Like, at the very beginning of the school year, actually, I did have a little bit of an issue, because I was, out of the 4 of us, I had the latest classes in the morning, so I had to get up, like, I woke up later than them, because my class didn't start till 10:20, and they all had, like, 9-10 classes, so they got up, an hour or 2 before me, and they would take showers and, like, use a blow dryer and stuff on their hair, and so that kind of woke me up in the morning. So that was kind of annoying at first, but by now I'm kind of used to it. I just basically sleep through it. But that was just something I guess I had to get used to. But my roommates that I live with, there's 3 girls, Kayla, Michaela, and Jordan. And they're all, super nice. And I think Kayla and Jordan don't really mesh well together. Like, they're both really nice, but they just have conflicting personalities. They have different views about stuff. And so they kind of clash a little bit. And so that was kind of a problem for a while. But it didn't really affect me. It was just kind of, they were kind of uncomfortable being around each other and stuff. But now it's like, they just don't even really talk to each other anymore. So I don't know if that's really better or worse. It's just a warning if you are living with more than one person that, even if you get along with people, your living situation might still not be perfect because you have to worry about how your roommates are going to work with each other. And so that sometimes makes it a little bit awkward in the room. Like, you can feel tension even though I'm not involved. It's just weird sometimes. I've always heard that you shouldn't make your best friend your roommate. And I never really understood it because, I feel like my best friends, I feel like I could totally live with them. We'd be completely fine. Like, it would just be like a continuous sleepover, basically. But I have a friend from high school who she went to the same school as me, and she lives now, her roommate is a friend that she had in grade school, and it was her best friend. And they are still, like, friends, but they have a lot of resentment towards each other because, one will clean the room and the other one's just, being lazy. And it's just like, there's conflict because you want the other person to help with, doing laundry and cleaning up after themselves and just the basic stuff. And if they don't do it, then you kind of hold that grudge towards them. And so little things start to add up. And I've just seen with her and her roommate, it's causing them to not be as close as they used to be. And that's not even, like, the worst story that I've heard. There was one story, and there was a girl in one of my classes, and she was telling us about it, and she moved into a dorm. Her roommate was her best friend. They had been best friends for, like, 10 years, and they had never had a fight before. They were super close, and then when they started living together, they, I guess, built up some kind of problem. I don't really know exactly what it was, but she said they had their first, like, fight, and it resulted in one of the girls, actually, she got so mad that she punched her, like, closet door and ended up with a, like, broken wrist or something. And so then she ended up having to move out of that dorm because she just couldn't live with her anymore. And so I'd hate to see someone lose a best friend that they've had for so many years over just a stupid roommate fight when they could so easily avoid that by not living together. So that's my advice on, like, living with your best friend is probably shouldn't do it. Now, usually before you, like, move in, your school will email you or something and let you know your room, first of all, and they'll give you the contact information for your roommates. And so for me, we all, like, followed each other on Instagram, on Twitter, got each other's phone numbers, and texted a little bit. And so we kind of got in touch before moving in. So I think that's a good idea. So you kind of feel like you know a little bit about each other and you're not just going into it blindly. So if you can, try to contact them beforehand. If you live close enough, you can try to meet up somewhere. So yeah, that's definitely good advice. Majority of the stories that I've heard are, like, good stories. Like, people enjoy their roommates and they're happy. But again, there are, like, those crazy situations where you get a random roommate, and so you go in there and you have no idea who this person is, you know nothing about them, and there is a possibility that they're gonna be different than you expect. There was one of my friends who was telling me about a friend of hers. There was 4 people living in a suite together, and 3 of the girls were pretty close, and then the 4th one, she didn't really talk to them that much, and she actually went to the RA and told them that, she wasn't getting to spend time with her roommates, they were leaving her out, blah, 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 which I think is kind of immature for a college student to, go to their RA about something like that. Just talk to them yourself. But anyway, she did. And so they had to set up, designated roomie time. And so they ended up watching, I think it was Frozen. And they were all, singing along. And then the girl who actually complained about having roommate time wasn't even, participating with them. She was kind of off in the corner. Apparently she was sitting on the ground under her bed with a blanket wrapped around her, just rocking back and forth. And so I think that's hilarious. But if you're in that situation, that's just going to be awkward, honestly. And I don't really know, how to deal with that. If one of my roommates did that, I would totally just be weirded out. But that kind of stuff does happen. Rarely, but it does happen. So you just kind of have to, I guess, be aware that you have to be courteous of your roommates. They might have some weird habits or stuff that they do. I don't know. Just don't judge people. Don't judge people. Another thing that I think a lot of roommates conflict about is, food. You have to decide ahead of time, okay, am I gonna just, buy my own food and they're gonna buy their own food and we're gonna keep it separate? Or are you gonna be okay, well, we like similar stuff, so why don't we just, take turns going to the grocery? Or, you can buy some stuff, I'll buy some stuff, and we'll share it all. You kind of have to talk about that stuff beforehand, because if you don't talk about it, then, if they start, eating your food, and you're hey, I wanted that, stop eating my food, then, that's going to add to building up resentment and arguments, and it's just going to cause more conflict and problems. And so I think as long as you address that stuff first, then it's not really being an issue, because you can decide all that. And a lot of schools have a roommate contract where you sit down together at the beginning of the semester and you talk about what you expect. Is there rules about who can be in your room? Are you not comfortable with them having guys over? Or do you just want guests a certain amount of nights a week? Or is there a certain time where you need it to be quiet so you can study? You just have to plan that stuff out at the beginning of the semester and make sure that you agree on some type of rules, basically, so that you can avoid as many issues as possible. My roommates have kind of turned into my best friends at school. Since we live together, we do a lot together. But even though I'm friends with my roommates, that doesn't mean you have to be friends with your roommates. They're just somebody that you live with. So don't feel obligated if you don't really get along with them, or you just have different interests. Don't feel like you have to spend time with them. You have to be close with them. Just be civil. Try to get along with them, but you don't have to be BFFs. I kind of just feel like I was just rambling throughout this whole thing, but hopefully it was a little bit helpful for at least a couple people out there. This is basically just my experience, and it has been positive. I totally recommend 100% living in a dorm, at least your first year or two in college, definitely with one or more roommates, I totally support the suite style, but traditional style definitely works for some people. Just do what's best for you. So thank you guys for watching. Hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys later. Love you. Bye.